All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So this is what happens when I'm away. We get some fresh tunes.
Inmates
Okay.
ran the asylum, baby.
I like it. I'm in, man. I am in with the
You
new
like that?
tune. Yes. Yes. Good work out of you guys. All right. Hope everybody's doing well out there. If you're not, you better look in the mirror because it is 12 o'clock on the East Coast. And that 12 is fitting because that's how many wins the Philadelphia Eagles have through 13 games. 12-1. Happy Monday, everybody. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. D-Gun, B. Brooks, R. Ellis, back together, better than ever. Hope you're doing well out there, everybody. Good to see everybody. I've lost my show, according to people. That's not my show anymore, man. I hear you.
Hey,
I hear you.
Look,
Fitness Rebel, thank you. Good to see you, Chris. I see everybody. I appreciate you guys. Ray, what up? What up, Eagles fan? Fitness Rebel, Chris, Mr. Taz, Hungry, John, South Jersey, D, Little Tone, Griffin. Hi, everybody. Appreciate it. How you guys doing? Did you guys have a good weekend?
Yeah, man. I had a great weekend. Hectic, but great. Did you?
I did.
Did you? I mean, you finally took a day off. Did you learn how to relax?
No, hold on. Did you take a full day off from everything?
Not a full, but a good chunk day off. I didn't take a full, but it was good. It was great. It was great. Listen, I went down to Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, where you guys are very familiar.
Yep.
And Derek, you're down there every single week. Barrett and I have done several shows from there, and they couldn't have been better. Zach and the crew, our guy Zach, who you guys know is the best. Yep. Welcome back, Ron. Thank you, Eric. Ron. But no, Zach and the crew are the greatest. So they took care of me, and my wife and I had a blast, man. An awesome Friday. So I appreciate everybody.
I took my wife down there on the Thursday night game, and she kept saying, then I stayed Friday and did our show Sports Take from there. She kept saying, look, stop worrying about me. I'll be fine. So she was on the other side of the door getting a lot of her work done. And then we stayed at a great steak dinner there, walked around, chilled, and then came home, man. I tell you what, a few hours just to clear your mind is, not think about X's and O's and all that good stuff. It's like cleansing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was great. We did this.
I feel bad because I took my wife there.
You got to do it, man.
You take your wife everywhere else.
We actually mixed it a little Top Golf.
I love Top Golf.
We walked around to the shops. We had a sick view from our room, so it was awesome, man. It was awesome. Food was great. Everything was perfect. Right on, spot on. As you
now, had you played Top Golf before?
Yes, not there though.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun, man. It was, and you could do not only can you do Top Golf, you could do like virtual, you could be a pitcher. Yep. You can play soccer. You can play football, throwing passes with your accuracy. So I did a little bit of everything, man. It was good.
What's up with Eric Winters? Rob, B. Brooks and D. Gun acted a fool while you were gone. What you talking about, man?
Is this what happened? What,
we just turned the show out, Rob. We just turned it out. That's
right.
All we did.
You're like, we got rid of him, man. Let's go. And you guys had fun. So I'm glad you had fun. But you know what else had fun yesterday? The Eagles and everybody watching the Eagles who was an Eagles fan. I'm running out of superlatives, guys. This is now we're to the point of this is just utter dominance. Every single week in and week out. They are just taking it to like the final was 48-22. If you watch that, that's totally misleading. It was nowhere near that close. That was destruction. I mean, from the jump, you had two lengthy drives, and then the one play after the drop punt or whatever that was. And in the blink of an eye, that game was over, man. They just hammered a division foe in North Jersey.
On our pregame show at Ocean Casino, we were debating were the Eagles going to come out passing or running the ball. And I'd asked John McMullen that also. And for me, I just felt they were going to come out passing. They had no Adoree Jackson, no Xavier McKinney in the back end of that defense. And as porous as they were against the run, I just felt the Eagles were going to say, you know what? We just come out and smoke this team right away. They go down the field, 14 plays, 84 yards, chew up 8 minutes. And on that drive, I'm looking at my charts, they hit 7 different receivers on the opening drive. It was like playing sandlot football. Mm-hmm. It really was, watching them go down the field. And it was over. After the opening drive, it was over. It was game, Plain and simple.
It was, and he hit 9 on the day, but yeah, there were 8 by the end of the first quarter. There were 8 different receivers who had caught footballs.
It's unbelievable.
8.
I didn't believe it at any point that we weren't going to win the game. Number one, just going into this game, a lot of people were kind of worried. Oh, this team is pretty. They're not good. Yeah. They caught lightning in a bottle. They played well because nobody knew how to defend a Saquon Barkley-led offense. That the quarterback was just a guy. Once we saw the blueprint game plan, I knew they were going to crush them, man, because they just didn't have enough. They didn't have enough of anything. They're not a good team. So we're supposed to beat teams. Like, you're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And that was a team we better have beat and beat bad like we did. Look, I'm sorry, but
no, go ahead.
Their secondary, they only had one guy, Moreau, the only guy there that played, have any time that had any type of starting experience from a secondary standpoint. Fabian Moreau's the only guy that has some time that he can play. No, they're not good. They didn't have Leonard Williams on the defensive side of the ball, so you could run the ball on them all day. They were already bad against the run. Yep. Okay, Ojulari played pretty good, but he's just a pass rusher. And once you found out that you can run the ball because the two defensive ends were too small, it was a wrap. We just did what we wanted to do. All right, we feel like pass, we're going to pass. All right, we feel like running, we're going to run. I mean, they didn't have to really sweat it out there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Barrett, it's every phase too. Like, for a while, we were really worried about the special teams, and I know they had the punt block, but other than that, the special teams has gotten much better. We were worried about the pass rush. The pass rush has been dominating. Over the course of the last 3 weeks, they have the best pass rush in football. We were worried about the passing game and pass protection. I don't think we're worried about that stuff anymore. They just keep on getting better in areas. That's the thing. We keep worrying about complacency, like it's going to go the other way. Not only are they not complacent, they get better and better and better at everything. They're fine-tuning everything as the weeks go on here. They had that little tiny lull period with the loss to Washington, the Colts game, and the Texans game. But since then, man, they've just vaulted right back up, and they're rolling people right now.
Bro, I'm looking at this and what the hell is wrong with ESPN? What are they doing? What are they thinking about? They're saying the metrics of some type of algorithm is saying that Dallas is a better team than the Eagles. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's no metric. They're defensively, offensively, and even on special teams, we're a better team than Dallas.
Yeah, there is what there is, Barrett. They can call it whatever they want. They could say it's computer generated and statistical and algorithms and all that. It's a desperate plea for people to discuss their rankings. It's a hot take, couched as a statistical, denomination. That's all it is. It's bogus. It's BS. If you're still trotting that sorry ass nonsense out after this past week, then you have zero. You had no credibility to begin with me, but you have even less now.
I think all it is conversation fodder. That's all it is.
And they're getting what they want.
They get exactly what they want, which is a reaction from the general public, especially in this region. So all they care about is when they sit back, look at the numbers for this discussion. Look at what we generated here. I don't think it's anything more than that because they have enough football minds up there to sit there and know what is and what isn't.
Well, Dallas knows.
Oh, yeah. But to control the narrative of what they want to do, which is to generate numbers, interest, clicks, whatever it may be, that's exactly what they got because we're sitting here talking about this 11 minutes into our show.
I'm trying to think of plain example. Who has the game on Christmas Eve? Who has our game?
I would imagine it's Fox, since it's both two NFC teams. I may be wrong, but
no, it's a Saturday night. It's
a Saturday night game, so
different. Maybe I think last night on the broadcast, Tirico said that they were in Arizona for Christmas. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
NBC.
What week is that? Is that week 7? Week 16?
It would be considered week 6. No, 15 because it's the
we just completed
week 425 game.
It would be 16.
It's on NFL Network.
So it's on.
It's a Fox game. It's Fox. I see. I got it now.
Yeah,
Fox.
That's what I thought. Since they're both NFC teams.
It's 4:25, man.
Yep.
That's the prime time
For what?
for a holiday.
Absolutely. Well,
For holiday
Christmas
football.
Eve. Yeah.
Yeah. For holiday football. It's the prime time for holiday football. I was thinking, I mean, they're just trying to generate numbers. They know that it's a heated rivalry, and it wouldn't be much conversation to just talking about an Eagles team as dominant as they are. They understand that there's nothing that they can really say from an Eagles standpoint to get the whole entire United States interested in it.
Yeah.
So what do? You put two fan bases who are top markets against each other, and you use the lesser of the one to try to generate clickbait.
Well, I think the other thing is they know it's Dallas, and however you feel about Dallas, and I think we all feel the same way about Dallas. They're a polarizing team, which means people are going to react no matter what, and they know that. If it was a team other than Dallas, I don't think they even have been first ahead of the Eagles, but it's Dallas, so that cranks up Cowboy haters and Cowboy lovers get cranked up about that.
Well, it is by far the best matchup of the day because when you look at some of the other matchups, you have Chiefs, Seahawks, decent matchup. You have Giants, Vikings, okay.
Yeah.
Bengals, Patriots, okay.
Yeah.
Then you have the Commanders, 49ers, okay. So that is the marquee matchup of the day. No question about it.
Oh, hands down it is. But I mean, what I really, you guys know, I say this every single week. What we're seeing is remarkable. We may never see it again with this Eagles team. I mean, I would just tell people just enjoy every second of it. I can't emphasize that enough because we haven't seen this since 2004, and we never saw it before that.
Well, let me
where
ask
this
you
team
this.
got off to a 12-1 start.
Well, let me ask you this: you've been a lifetime Eagles fan. I've been a fan since '95.
Yeah.
D-Gun, 97.
Yeah.
Is this the best team you've seen constructed, put together? I mean, not talking about the end result. I'm talking about just right now.
Yeah, I would say yes, because here's the thing. I'll work back to two of them. I'll do 17 and 04. In 17, we all had that reset when Wentz got hurt. And we all thought, the season could be over here. And it just sort of level set everything. And it was a little bit different. And they had a loss before the game before Wentz got hurt. You remember they lost their second game to Seattle.
To Seattle.
And then you go back to 04 when T.O. gets hurt. It's kind of a game changer too, right? And that sort of changed the way we looked at things. I'd have to say so far through, if I'm just looking at this through the prism of 13 games, it's the best I've seen an Eagles team start.
It's a great,
not just record, everything else.
Yeah, that's a great debate because it was presented to me as well yesterday. And I said it was twofold. Number one, just like you said, Rob, as of right now, yes. But to get a final determination, when I compare to 04 and 17, I cannot make a final determination until the season is concluded to see where they are or see how far they've gone. 04, they got to the Super Bowl, lost. 17, they got to the Super Bowl and won. So to do a thoroughly fair evaluation, I think you're going to have to wait and see how deep they go, And there's no question right now, they are the odds-on favorite to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But on paper, as we sit here today, when you look at the abundance of moves compared to 04 and 17, they made a splash with T.O. They made some splashes at 17, bringing in, Alshon, Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount.
Tim Jernigan.
They made some splashes then, but the volume of splashes they made going back to Kazir White, to Reddick, and it kept going. Bradbury, and it kept going. Sue and Linval Joseph. It just kept going. It just keeps going and going, and can't wait to see what they do with the punter situation now. Wow. There's no question. No question.
It's rare that you see it this complete. There's usually something that you feel like, oh boy, this is going to be a problem. And special teams look like it was going to be that for a while. But they've improved the special teams. The return game's way better now. And who knows what Sipos, what the effect is, how long he's out, we don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing with this team is they're as driven a team. Think about it. There's not even another team in the league that has 2 losses. Not even one. I mean, every other team's got at least 3 losses. Mm-hmm. And Dallas, for example, yesterday, I mean, they survived. They didn't win that game. They survived that game. If they were playing anybody else, it would have been a loss. Kansas City's lost a couple of games here. They didn't play all that well yesterday. Buffalo's lost 3 games. The Eagles every single week are dialed in. That's a special mentality that they have. That's a special intangible that they have that emanates from the coach and from the quarterback and the vets, that this team is locked in every single week. Like if there's ever going to be a letdown, it could be this week against the Bears because you have the Cowboys on the forefront, right in front of them. And the Bears are coming off a bye week but I don't believe it with this team. Like I do not. If for some reason the Eagles were to lose that game to the Bears, it won't be because they're looking ahead. I don't believe that. I simply don't believe it.
The Bears have a decent running game. Justin Fields is not beating this team. They basically gutted their defense, got rid of all their key players on defense, sold them for future draft picks. They have a decent running game, but that's it. The receiving core is average. Justin Fields has gotten better as a passer, but still, he's getting more headlines for running the football. I mean, what is he in rushing now? Is he approaching 1,000 yards?
Yeah, he's going to get over 1,000.
So outside, no, it's a very one-dimensional team, and I don't think in any way, shape, or form, even if the Eagles have an off day, they should be able to control that team. You don't overlook an opponent, but should be able to control.
Yeah. We just held Saquon Barkley. We held him to 28 yards on 9 carries. We held Derrick Henry to 30 yards rushing. In fact, Tannehill had 34, outrushed the NFL's best running back in the past, 5-6 years. I'm looking at it.
Jonathan Taylor too. Don't leave him out.
Well, for 8 to 84 yards, he was averaging like 100, 105 yards a game. We know how to stop the run now. We have the horses to stop the run. The only thing stopping this Eagles team is this Eagles team. We cut down on mistakes and we stay healthy. The sky's the limit on where this team can go. There's no team that's built more effectively in accomplishing what they want to accomplish than the Eagles. They can do whatever they want to. And the biggest thing that separates this team from anything else is the offensive line and defensive line. They have now established themselves as the number 1 units in the NFL. Everybody's talking about Dallas and their ability to rush the passer. Yes, they can rush the passer, but they cannot stop the run. The Eagles can rush the passer and stop the run. You look at even the 49ers. The Eagles have a better defensive line than even the 49ers. Now, we know their linebackers are a lot different. But, yeah, I mean, you got Bosa. He's the only one they have on that line that, I would, allocate some resources to make sure we got a chip or a double team somewhere or wherever he is. We got to know where he is. But other than that, this defensive line is all right, pick your poison. BG had 3 sacks. Nobody can block Hassan Reddick, who's now become the spark plug to give everybody else. They're eating off the fruits of his labor. They're eating off Hassan Reddick, generating pressure from his side. I mean, Sweat is playing at a great level. He started the sack fest out with the first sack of the game. I'm trying to think of a team that has a better offensive defensive line. I can't think of any.
Well, you said offensive and defensive lines, but I'll take it a step further. This team is the best team in the league in terms of absorbing injuries because of depth. In terms of depth, there's not another team in the league that has as much depth on both sides of the football as this team, whether it's the trenches. You look at the versatility they now have in the trenches. You got Nakobe Dean, who's hungry, who's playing better whenever he gets in now. So if you lost the linebacker, if you lost Kazir White, I feel much better about putting Nakobe Dean in there. They've lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They've been without Avonte Maddox. They've been able to overcome those deficiencies.
How about Ellis with 2 S's?
Ellis, yeah, exactly. So should we call him Ellis?
I'm changing my name if we keep playing like this. I'm adding an S.
We can call him Ellis.
We're not taking an S. We're not taking an S from him. We're adding one to me. That's what we're doing.
He said Ellis.
Yeah, man. I love Ellis.
Hey, man.
Yeah, ever since he got called up, man, the special teams coverage is a completely different story.
Man. He's jumping out of the screen, man. And that just goes to show how this team is working, man. I did WIP this morning.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But when you listen to Jalen Hurts, it's all cause and effect to him. Cause and effect. The cause that he has, he's going to go out there and work his ass off. The effect is the results he's getting. If you don't work, that cause will affect you not to win like that. He understands the cause and effect. So if he gets everybody else on the same page with that same way of thinking, like Hassan Reddick is now on that way of thinking, all right, if I go out there and work my butt off, the effect is everybody else is going to eat, and I'm going to eventually eat also. Cause and effect. If you push a guy by using another guy, a la Fletcher Cox getting pushed by Sue, getting pushed by Joseph, Milton Williams, all these guys are trying to buy for more time. There's no way that Fletcher Cox should have had 7 plays in that Washington game. That's utterly ridiculous. Now you're giving him 30 rushes a game, 30 plays a game. It's making him more hungry. He's going in there and he's chomping at the bit because he's not even lathered up. He's not taking a lot of reps. So now he can conserve energy and give it to him every single play that he's out there. And that's what they're doing. They're taking turns of being great. Cause and effect. Because I'm taking less great reps, that means I can give an optimal ability every time I'm on the field. And that's what's working, man. Cause and effect is great. And Jalen has them thinking like that. Because I work so daggone hard throughout the week, the game's going to be easier. Yeah. And that's what it is.
That's the thing too. Like, you're just taking the heart from these teams right away. You are. I mean, the Giants. It was over after that second drive. I know they got one in the beginning of the third or whatever it was. It made it look somewhat close at that point, but they just pulled away. I mean, the Eagles have a plus 146 point differential.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and remember last week? Penalties. 2 penalties for 9 yards. Like, when they see things, this coaching staff and the players, they make corrections during the week. It's not lip service that, we got to get better at that, blah, blah, blah. They mean it, and they get better at it. You know, they got to rush the passer better. They rush the passer better. Got to be better in the passing game. They're better in the passing game. We got to stop the run better. They stop the run. Or they go out and they get guys like Sue and Linval Joseph, to Barrett's point about now how you're in a rotation and you get better. I mean, that's how you get better. It's remarkable. And even yesterday, like, there is a little bit of good fortune on their side. It looks like the Blankenship and Lane Johnson injuries are not that serious. Knock on wood, you know, and you need that kind of luck. Dallas just lost another starting offensive lineman.
Yeah, they did.
You know, for the season, torn ACL. He's done. Steele's done. So that's a big deal.
Samuels.
Right. Yeah, and you got to get fortunate to some degree, and they have been, man. And everything's there, everything's clicking right now. And I don't feel like they're peaking at the wrong time or whatever. You know, some people float those kind of theories out there. I just don't see it. Like, the whole peak at the wrong time is sort of like you're riding this fake wave.
Yes, that's exactly what you're saying.
You know, like
great
you mentioned
analogy.
earlier, Barrett, like the Giants, the way they started the season.
Yep.
This is not a fake wave, man. You know, this is a real team that is doing things every week that shows you that. Like, do you remember during the week we were talking about, as the week went on, we found out the weather was going to be bad. There were people who would say, it's got to favor the Giants with their running game, right? I'm like, really? The Eagles' running game is better than the Giants' running game. So
right.
How is that favoring the Giants? The Eagles are better at it than the Giants are. So there's any condition you want to do. Like, if you're getting later in the year and it's crappy weather, fine. The Eagles can handle that. They can run the ball if they need to. If you're playing in Arizona in the Super Bowl and you want to crank it up through the air, you can crank it up through the air. There's no issue that you have to skirt or be afraid of if you're the Eagles.
Oh, you look at you look at the running game, man. There were some people that were disappointed in the fact that they didn't run Miles Sanders enough, that he should have had more yards. I don't think so. I think they understand that they're running him not necessarily on a pitch count, but a need to run basis. You know what I'm saying? They only need him when they need him.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's playing and he's healthy. Saquon Barkley is used up.
Yeah.
He's like
they've wrung him out like a rag.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
There's no drops anymore to get out of that.
Right now, he's the lemon that you squeezed on that thing that you get the lemon, all the lemon juice out. They squeezed all the juice out of him. Now it's just the rind and stuff and the pulp right there. That's all that he is right now because they've given him too much.
Yeah.
Well, that shit goes to show you he only had 9 carries, 9 touches, and they kept showing ISO shots of him on the sideline, rotating his neck and his shoulder and stuff, and he had that neck stinger, I guess.
Mhm.
So between Breida and the other kid Brightwell, they were the bulk of the load for that team out of necessity.
No doubt.
But they've overused Saquon because of the deficiencies at tight end, at wide receiver. They have virtually nothing. When your leading receiver this deep into a season has less than 600 yards, what does that tell you about what the offense is or is not?
Right, exactly. Another thing, let me give you this stat. I got this morning from being on the show. They had 156 yards before contact. Miles Sanders had 156. The running game had 156 yards before contact. Now we're talking about
that's sick.
A Wink Martindale defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have at least 8 guys in the box, and they're blitzing. That means you've got to get past the initial blitz. And they were still not getting them until they were in the second and third zones of the defense.
That's incredible.
156 yards before contact?
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
That's incredible, man. That is. It's incredible. Barrett, it's
To
incredible.
a blitzing team.
Jeez. To any team, but let alone that one. Yeah.
And bro, Hurts did not get touched on his touchdown.
No, it was like that Colts touchdown. The game winner against the Colts. It was like the parting of the Red Sea again.
Unbelievable block.
These guys are nasty, man.
It was nothing but a draw play, but Sam Otto blocked the 3 technique, and Kelsey pulled around and kicked out the linebacker, and he could have stopped and walked into the end zone. That's how open it was. They spread you out when they want to. They can put everybody in there, and still run it the way they want to. This is. I've never seen a defensive line and offensive line impact the way these guys impact since the days when I was playing.
Yeah, it is. They just take it to teams and they manhandle them. All right, when we come back, we're going to dive into the offense. The game yesterday, generally what they're doing, I mean, they have the potential. They already have a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-yard runner. They're likely going to get Devontae Smith too. If Goddard had stayed healthy, he might have been over 1,000. So this team could have had 4 guys go over 1,000 yards and had 4 guys in double-digit sacks on the other side of the ball.
Wow.
I mean, we may never talk about these kind of things again. It may never happen again. So this is unique. We'll get into the offense when we come back, and then we'll do some defense. We'll update you on injuries as well, just tell you where everything is. We're going to dive into what was week 14 of the NFL and some of the big happenings around the league, including the 49ers and what they're doing with Brock Purdy. We'll get into that. Mix in some Joel Embiid at 53 points as well. We will discuss that also. So a lot to dive into. Don't go anywhere. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. All right, I'm going to talk to you right now about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances can be a challenge. Let's face it. I found the right person, and I want you to find that right person as well. And it's Jim Murray of Principal Financial Group. And I can tell you from my personal experience that, I was trying to find the right person for a long time, and it was a struggle. Okay. It really was for me. And I found that person. And for you, it could be retirement planning, could be 401k review. If you're not really thrilled with the direction that's going, any of the above, really. And I have entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers to Jim. I couldn't be any happier. You will be as well. Give him a call, 610-996-4751. 610-996-4751. You could email him as well. Murray, Murray.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.